Now, it's also true that in finding sanctuary and refuge and returning home, that while we need to do it in our own unique way, we need one another. It's a kind of funny thing. Again, you know, like remembering your Buddha nature and your zip code, there's a certain way in which you need to face your aloneness and despair all by yourself. Nobody else can do it for you. And at the same time, we need each other desperately. And we can't completely do it alone. Isn't that also true? What story to read? Oh, this one, just because it's fun, even though I read it recently. From Fran Peavy, activist and friend. One day I was walking through the Stanford University campus with a friend and saw a crowd of people with cameras and video equipment on a little hillside. They were clustered around a pair of chimpanzees, the male running loose and the female on a chain about 25 feet long. It turned out the male was from Marine World Africa and the female was being studied for something or other at Stanford, and who I thought were the spectators were actually scientists and publicity people trying to get them to mate. The male was eager, you know how that goes. He grunted and grabbed the female's chain and tugged. She whimpered and backed away. He pulled again. She pulled back. Watching the chimps' faces, I began to feel sympathy for the female. Suddenly the female chimp yanked her chain out of the male's grasp, and to my amazement, she walked through the crowd straight over to me and took my hand. Then she led me across the circle to the only other two women in the crowd, and she joined hands with us. And the three of us stood together in a circle. I remember the feeling of that rough palm against mine. The little chimp had recognized us and reached out across all the years of evolution to form her own women's support group. So there is the finding of sanctuary, and at the same time there's also the sanctuary that we offer to one another. My friend Annie Lamott puts it this way. She says, "My mind is like a bad neighborhood. I try not to go there alone." So when I was in Hawaii, on the island of Hawaii, in the Big Island, when I go there, on the Kona side, I like to go and visit this place called Pua Honua Ohonau now, which is the Hawaiian name for the temple or city of refuge. And you go down this long road down to the beach, and it's a black lava beach. The sand is black, and this 10-foot wide lava wall around it, and the pools for the ali'i, for the noblemen, the king and queens, and little temples. And what's said of Pua Honua is it's the temple of refuge and forgiveness, that no matter what you did in the ancient Hawaiian culture, if you killed someone or you broke the worst taboo, if you could find your way into that temple, you would be forgiven. And of course, get in there, and the question is, does it still work? You know, can I also avail myself of this place? And it has a great power to it. Part of what a sanctuary offers, in the Buddhist temple, there's this sacred boundary called a sima that's made, where the monks or the nuns will sit in every square, every 4-foot square of the earth, one after another and another, doing prayers of forgiveness before anyone's invited in. It's a kind of sacred boundary or sacred ground. And people make their rituals of prayers and confessions and forgiveness and practices to step out of shame, to step out of errors and mistakes and the dungeons that you've found yourself in, and realize that it's never ever too late to start again, to remember your first agreement, to remember who you really are, or what you're here to do, to listen to the heart and begin again. In New York, there was a man who was kind of a performance artist, called himself Mr. Apology. And he set up, in the old days, an 800 number that you could call if you wanted to apologize for anything. And you know how our culture is. It's a weird culture, you have to admit. And he started getting not just hundreds, but thousands of calls with people apologizing for stuff. You know? Apologize and you will be forgiven. And there were people who'd done all kinds of crimes, and he said some of the floods of calls, some of the stories were terribly poignant. You know? But even that, even in this kind of bizarre, mechanical way, as an art project, it had meaning. Because we need to find a way to release the past, all the things that we've judged ourselves for, to learn from it, and to make something new again from our heart. And a true sanctuary is a place of mercy and forgiveness